that international justice processes, international justice mechanisms, and whatever the international rules or law you say, all those things are highly dominated by world leaders. Again, justice delayed, justice denied, and it is delaying for the Rohingya people. That means it is denying to the Rohingya people.
We have Maung Sawyeddollah, 22 years old from Myanmar, who unfortunately cannot be with us present in person today, but you will know more about why he cannot be with us in person when he does speak. We miss you in person, but thank you so much for being here anyway, Sawyeddollah. With that, I now want to introduce Sawyeddollah, who again cannot be with us present in person, but is tuning in live. Could we see the video that talks a little bit more about Sawyeddolah's work before we get to speak to him? Sawyeddollah, you belong to the Rohingya people. Rohingya people are the world's largest stateless population. They belong to the world's largest stateless population. You've been living in a refugee camp since August 2017, and you could not be here in person with us. Could you just share a little bit more about what that looks like? You've just won an amazing award, and you cannot even be here in person. Your movements are limited. Could you share a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, thank you so much. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, peace be upon you all. Actually, the reason that I'm not being able to be there is only one reason, which is being a Rohingya. So, yeah, that might be a deal, but today I will take it as a strength to let all of you understand that, like, how much Rohingya people suffer and how less the world leaders care about Rohingya people.
You spoke about saying, a quote of yours really hit me. You said there can be no justice, there can be no peace without justice, right? You have done incredible work in holding Meta accountable. You have sued them. Could you share with the audience a little bit more about how Meta has let down the Rohingya people and what your litigation looks like in terms of, trying to hold them accountable?
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. Actually, the case against Meta is a very significant step comparing to the entire crisis of the Rohingya people. So please allow me to go back to the situations of the Rohingya back in Myanmar when we had forced to leave our country. So we have history that Rohingya people have been staying there in Myanmar, especially in Arkhana state, together peacefully with all other ethnic groups there also. But it is the extremist people, it is the extremist politicians in our country who spreaded hate on online and using also different other techniques, for example. And that changed the mind of people, that changed the mind of other people, because those extremist people used hate speeches, misinformations against Rohingya people, and they were doing it for a very long time. So they had a very structured and systematic plans to drive out Rohingya peoples. So finally, they used Facebook as a tool to spread their personal agendas, to create hate against Rohingya people in the minds of other ethnic groups staying there. Finally, their plan got successful, and Rohingya people, have been forced to leave the country because of the genocide committed against the Rohingya people in Myanmar. And we had left the country in 2017. Since 2017, we took shelter here in Cox's Bazar refugee camp in Bangladesh. So after just coming here, I started thinking why we had left the country. I had my own home in our country, but today I am living here in the country of another peoples, in the country of other peoples, and in a place where we used to keep animals back to our home in Myanmar. So why I had become like this? Why my family had to stay in these situations? Why the Rohingya people had became refugees like this? Then I started learning more about the situations and the root cause of the cause that pushed us to leave the country. Then finally, what I came to understood is that the Rohingya people were in discriminatory policy and in the abuse of many kinds of human rights violations. That was the reason that pushed Rohingya to leave the country. Then, I decided to do something to make it possible, to make it to bring a change in our situations. And thinking like that continually, we had a big commemoration day. We commemorated the first anniversary of Rohingya genocide, remembered here in Cox's Bazar, and it was in 2018. So just after 1 year after leaving our home country. So I personally joined that commemoration day, and I was personally an organizer there among all my friends. So just after completing that program, I understood that there is something we can really do. There is something we can really do if we try. Then I took a step to think more about how I can bring more changes for my people. And that is when the idea to establish an initiative called Rohingya Student Network, which we are seeing right now, came to my mind. So I consulted with my friends. I consulted with many of my teachers, many of my advisors that I used to say in these days. Then we took steps and established a Rohingya Student Network. And at Rohingya Student Network, what we are doing right now is for main two things. One is to empower our communities. The second one is to do advocacy for the life, liberty, and security of the Rohingya people. But the ultimate goal of both objectives is being able to return to our home back in Myanmar and stay there peacefully with all other ethnic groups living there. But to achieve our ultimate goal, there are still many things that need to be addressed, and we are just working our best to contribute in that goal. So when we say we have objectives to empower our communities, especially youth, so at RSN, we conduct different workshops, we conduct different kind of capacity building programs, capacity building training, where we share about justice mechanisms available for the Rohingya people, human rights education, and peace education, like that things. Because we believe there is a power in collective effort. So it is very important for the Rohingya people to understand those things and come forward together to speak up for their own rights. So that is what our main intentions for our empowerment objective. So the second one, when we say is the advocacy, we have divided that objective to many different parts. For example, as I had been asked about the Facebook case, it was also a part of our advocacy objectives. So we mainly see and watch everything that is happening anywhere in the world. We closely follow those things, and if we believe there is anything that need to share from us, then we try to communicate with them. We try to share our concern with them. If it's needed, then what we do is like we send a private letter to those individuals or to those groups. And if it is required, we send a private letter.
Thank you so much.
If it is required, we then issue a public statement. So we are also like closely working with the justice process of the Rohingya, which is in ICC, International Criminal Court, and ICJ, International Court of Justice, of course. And the case against Meta, against Facebook, is also a part of that objectives. And we are carrying that case against Meta only because we believe Meta contributed their business to the human rights abuses that we have suffered. So it is very much important that the perpetrators and the supporter of those perpetrators must be held in account in order to achieve a long-term peace.
Thank you so much, Sawyeddollah. I think you're right. It's incredibly important to name the problem. Thank you for that. I had heard once someone say that refugee camps are the places dreams go to die. So the significant work that you're doing with the Rohingya Students Network to not just push for dreams but advocate for a better future is incredible. Thank you. I remind the audience again, you can ask your questions to Sawyeddollah and all the other activists by joining the online dialogue, as well as to the people joining us in person today. Would you please share your experience of living in the Rohingya camp in Bangladesh, and what does the process of justice and accountability look like? You spoke a little bit about that, but I think it would be interesting for people to know about, life in the camp.
Thank you so much. Actually, to just answer the questions very simply, the situations and the life in the camp is something like we can say we are living in a hell on the earth, something like that. And also you can search my name, Maung Sawyeddollah, online, so you can also see there, like I have written some articles, some news like that things, and one of the articles I have published is named "Being a Refugee is Not Easy." I have included there many things, and to just share briefly more about the situations in the camp and more about the life in the camp. The place we are living is very crowded, and the help, the humanitarian assistance that we are receiving is also very limited. And we can imagine something like these are the places, as I have also mentioned earlier, this is the place we used to keep our animals when we were in Myanmar. So that is the reasons people are losing their hopes and their dreams in the camps. And I'm trying my best. I'm trying as much as possible to give the people hopes, to fight continuously, to bring a positive changes and to fight back for the rights that have been denied from the Rohingya people. And regarding the justice and accountability for the Rohingya people, actually everyone know about that international justice processes, international justice mechanisms, and whatever the international rules or law you say, all those things are highly dominated by world leaders, highly dominated by the world leaders. So, and we also know, all of us also know, the process of justice. It's not only for the Rohingya, it is also for other places around the world where injustices are happening. So the process of justice is very slow at international level. It's very slow. So now it's already 6 years that we have been suffering our life like hell in the refugee camp. And the case on the world courts in ICC and ICJ are continuously proceeding there. And still no any positive changes for our people, for the Rohingya people. That is also a reason people are losing their hopes in the camps. And we also see there are different internal tensions arising in the camps, and it is also a consequence of being delayed to receive the justice. And I would highlight today here in front of you all that. So what I would like to request you all is, please, one thing that I would request you is please learn more about the Rohingya people, more about the suffering of Rohingya people directly from the Rohingya, not from any other person, because I believe it is the only Rohingya who will understand the feeling, the suffering of Rohingya and the needs of Rohingya better than any other people. But in most of the cases, what we are seeing right now is like, if there are some, we can say like conference, there are some meetings, and there are something people are doing to take or to talk about the Rohingya people, even or to take decisions related to the Rohingya people. In most of the cases, they exclude Rohingya people from their decision-making process, from their discussion process. So that is also a reason of affecting the life in the camp and making the time longer for us to get the justice. So please learn about the Rohingya from Rohingya directly, and please also share about it to all your friends, to all your networks. And I would also request you that Rohingya people have their own hopes, their own dreams, and their own ability to fight back and to fight peacefully for their rights. We only need your help to stand in solidarity with us and to give us chance, to give us opportunity to work for our own self. So please don't take any single decisions, single steps that are related to Rohingya without taking inclusions of the Rohingya. Please share this message with all your networks, and it will be really helpful for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. We have the awards that are going to be given out. Unfortunately, because Sawyeddollah cannot be present with us in person, Sawyeddollah, we're going to make sure this comes to you. But can we, I don't want to give a round of applause to all of them collectively, right? So first, Sawyeddollah, honoring what you said and trying to commit to speaking for what is happening for the Rohingya people by centering the voices of the Rohingya people. So thank you for your work. To Sawyeddollah.